Yeah, my click woke, and my wrist froze, and that bitch cold. Yeah, that snitch told. Let that grip hold, let that stick fold. Stendo big pole, let the tops roll.
Give me a second, give me a little bit more. Hey YouTube, it's me, Rizal, back on the channel with another one, and today we're going to be looking at a Steve Wilkos, and this one is titled Female Sexual Predator, and we're going to see what it entails. I read a little bit of the information, not too much, because it's like it was in an extract over there, and apparently I think it's a woman accused of molesting her nephew, or something. We're going to take a look at it and see what's up. It's an interesting topic, to say the least.
Me and my sister relationship was going very well till my mom died. You know, it drove us apart a little bit, but we got back cool. My son told me a couple of months ago that my sister be touching on him and my nephew in their sleep, touching on their private parts. My son also says that she give him money so he wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't think my sister would never do nothing like that to my son because she loved my son. When my son told me that, I felt really crazy, like he would never ever lie to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm mommy and daddy at the end of the day. So, you know, I went to the police, I went to her and everything. Then you guys called me. I'm here today to find out the truth. If it is, it's going to hurt me. But I'm going to have to find a way to forgive her because at the end of the day, that's my sister and we all we got. And can't nobody take her away from me but God. And I love her. I want her to stay strong. If she fails the test, I will forgive her. But I just will not let my son be around her by himself. It's hurting me.
Forgiving is a strong word, right? I mean, I know you have to be a particular type of person. I think if that was happening to me, the first question I would have is, on top of like being obviously irate at the fact that you're messing around with my child and it's wrong, it's like, I'd also be confused because I'd be like, what the hell is the matter with you? Like, is dating life or whatever, or your romantic life that bad that you have to resort to preying on kids like some kind of vampire? Like, what's going on with you, bro? Like, how bad is it? How bad is it out there for you? Because even in terms of like this sexual activity alone, I think you think a woman would want something bigger, you know? I'm sorry for going that far. But you know, in the midst of like my anger, the confusion would be like, it's the child is even undeveloped. It's sort of like that reaction I did, you know, where I was talking about like when those girls used to come from primary school into high school in their first year, right? And then I talked about how the guys, like, oh, first I talked about when we came into primary school, how the seniors were looking at like the girls in our grade, and the girls in our grade had barely like hit puberty. They barely developed like anything, even breasts and all of that, and they were still like, you know, hounding them, you know what I'm saying? And then it happened the same way when I was a senior, and then my, not even my friends, the guys around me in general, they were looking at those girls, and I was like, what the hell is the matter with you? These girls, they're still kids. They're still kids, and all these girls we have around us that are our age, they got titties and ass and everything, you know. What's going on? We eating already. How bad is like your chances with the women around us already? You know what I'm saying?
It's hurtful to be having to sit here and do this. Because I don't want to go through this. But I have to get the truth out.
You're accused of molesting your nephew and your own son, right?
Yes.
And did you?
No, I never did. I never touched my son or my nephew sexually. I love my nephew and my son. I would never do anything to hurt them.
How did you find out you were being accused of this?
Through my sister, through a text message, and she later came over to my apartment and told me this.
What ran through your head?
I want to kill her, for real. But I knew I had to keep a cool head and get through this, because for me to attack her, I wouldn't be here today to prove that I'm innocent.
Right.
So I had to keep a cool head so I won't end up behind bars or anything. So,
how do you
She better be right. She better be telling the truth, because like, this is a crazy thing for a child to just come up with. Like, what ulterior motive would a child have to accuse their aunts of molesting them, especially in, I don't know what age the child is, but at that age, you have little crushes on like older women. Like I remember I had a crush on like Tyra Banks. Who else did I have a crush on? I had a crush on like a lot of like I had a crush on my friend's mother. My friend's mother, one of my best friends at the time in Kenya, his mother, she was this light-skinned thing. She was beautiful. Or was she beautiful? I don't really remember her properly, bro. I was a kid, but every time she'd be around, I think even people saw that I had a little bit of a crush on her. Because of like, when she was around, the way I'd act and stuff, bro. And it's like, I don't stand a chance, but as a kid, you can't help how you feel, But all in all, she wasn't who I was messing with. I was messing with girls my age, at the time where I started being interested in girls. So what ulterior motive would I have to be telling people that I'm messing around with let's say my best friend's mother? You know what I'm saying? It's like I have nothing to gain.
Explain that the little boy said, she gave me money not to tell.
Well, my nephew tells a lot of lies. He gets mad to tell lies, but he don't realize what the lies do to my family. Like, he don't realize that the lie that he told has...
Why would he make up that lie?
I have no idea, Steve.
Because he's old enough...
Right.
Where, if somebody that age told me something, you'd be like, okay.
I don't know if he was mad at me. I don't know if she made up the lie because it was something she was mad at me about. I can't really say how it came out. But I know I would never do anything like that to any kid, not only my son and my nephew.
Before this incident happened with your sister with this accusations, how was your relationship with her before?
I mean, it was a little rocky. We had back and forth things since my mom
So it's never been smooth?
No, it's never been smooth. We've always had a rocky relationship, but I want to just here today to get this test and get more closer to my sister, like, because this is really like driving me away from my sister and my family and everybody around me.
Is there any reason why she'd be saying this about you?
I can't even say. I don't know why someone would make up a lie like this about someone.
Exactly.
Now, she thinks that you started a rumor that she slept with one of your relatives, right?
Yes.
Did you start a
No,
rumor?
I never did. I never say anything bad about my sister. It's always things that come back to me that's been said to hurt and hunt me.
Do you believe that she slept with a relative?
No, I don't.
Okay. You came here and you took a test.
Yes.
Any chance you fail?
No.
So if you pass, you're hoping to work on your relationship with your sister.
I want it to get closer. I want this to be the end of this. And I want to start a life with my sister.
You believe that your sister molested your son. And why do you believe that?
That's what my son told me, and me as being a parent, like, I couldn't just brush that off.
What exactly did your son say to you?
My son came to me and said that my sister was touching on him and my nephew while they were asleep. It only happened when they're asleep. I said, what? So from then, I just went crazy. I went to her house. I called her phone, sent her messages, put it on Facebook, and things like that.
And did you go to the police?
Yes.
And what happened with that?
They told me I had to bring my son to the police station to write a statement. But I never did that because I couldn't believe in my heart that my sister would do something like that.
So you're hoping, I mean, you took a lie detector test too, whether
Yes,
you tell the truth and whether you slept with this family relative.
Right.
All right, Megan, you took a lie detector test. And we asked you, did you fabricate the story that your son told you that his aunt was sexually touching him and his cousin? You answered no. Did you coach your son to say that his aunt was sexually touching him and his cousin? You answered no. The results came back the same to each question. They came back that you told the truth.
I mean, you're super
Maria, you
confident.
took a lie detector test. And we asked you, have you had any physical contact with Megan's son's private area for your own sexual gratification? You answered no. Did you ever offer Megan's son money in exchange for touching him sexually? You answered no. Have you ever had physical contact with your son for your own sexual gratification? You answered no. The results came back the same to each question, and they came back that Maria did not tell the truth.
What did I lie about?
I could read these 3 questions again.
I fucking knew it. I told you. There's nothing to gain for this child to be. Because even like, in terms of like, even like experiencing that, I'm thinking. Because like, let's say my crushes ended up being fruitful, right? And I ended up like, maybe should I even say getting lucky? Because it's still a fucked up situation. It's sick, right? Like, I shouldn't even say get lucky. I ended up like, that thing ended up coming to fruition. My crush and like, with the older woman and all. Why would I tell anyone? Who would I tell? I can't tell my best friend. I can't tell our friends. I can't tell my parents. Like, because like, who do you tell and why do you tell and how do you tell? And you know, now imagine if I didn't want it in the first place. If I didn't have these feelings or whatever, why would I lie? I don't want to be there in the first place. I don't know what's going on. Both situations, I don't know what's going on. I don't even think at that time I knew women had vaginas. Like, literally. I thought people just kissed at that age. I thought people just kissed. I didn't know about sexual reproduction and all of that. Like, I didn't know what sex, how it even took place or whatever. I think at that age, I also thought that women could get pregnant by themselves. Okay, right now, nowadays, with like artificial insemination, whatever, they can get like sperm donors, you know, all of that. But I thought like God can literally, like, they can just literally decide I want to get pregnant and then like it just comes to fruition and God blesses them with a baby. Like, that was my mindset. So with that mindset as a child, because these are young children, just like I was, why would I lie? Shit, this thing went out. Give me a minute. Why would I lie?
Physical contact with Megan's son's private area for your own sex.
No.
Did you ever offer Megan's son money in exchange for touching him sexually?
No.
You answered no. Have you ever had physical contact with your own son for your own sexual gratification? You answered no. And those 3 questions that you did not tell the truth.
I never lied about anything. No, mommy. I never did nothing to my son. I never did nothing.
Or anything. We're sisters.
Yeah, Megan, I never touched my son. I swear to
I'm
my mommy.
How did you fail this test?
I don't know, Megan. I never touched my nephew or my son.
Your son told you this happened.
Yes, but I never
He's not
did
lying.
it, Steve. I never did it.
Okay, here's the problem here. We have a child, and he's being very descriptive. And he's telling you a story that most kids are not having an imagination to tell. And they're saying something that is very adult themed, right? And the fact that he's telling you this, and the fact that she comes on and fails this test, makes me believe that your son is telling the truth, and that he was molested. Okay? Well, then you tell me why you failed.
I don't know. Maybe because I was nervous. I don't know.
No.
Why would
I
you
never
be
touched
nervous?
my mother.
Every person.
Why would you be nervous in the first place? If you're being accused for molestation, oh God, let me not say Jesus. I don't want to curse myself. Because that thing just makes me feel sick. If, let's say me in the body of someone else, because that's the only way I'm comfortable enough to say this, was being accused of molestation, and I didn't do it. With my mindset, the first thing that would happen in my mind is irritation, anger, and I want to go to a lie detector. I want to go to whoever I want, like I need immediately to get this, like get to the bottom of this. And then I will be pissed off not only at the child, but at the household, and like that brought up these rumors, and I wouldn't want any involvement with them in the future because I'd be so mad. Because like I'd be like, bro, I'm not, how? So why would you be nervous? Why?
That goes back there is nervous.
Yeah.
Okay?
But
nobody goes back to cool as a cucumber.
I never touched my nephew or my son.
Your boy is older than her son.
Yes.
Okay. Did he seem like he was lying?
No, he didn't seem like he was lying, but I know kids make up. But you don't make up. No, you don't make up like
He's not making that up.
He doesn't even know what
He's
that
not
is.
making that up. kids don't really, most of the time, make up stories about being molested.
Man,
Exactly,
I swear to
man.
God, they arching them
Okay.
tests, Megan, on my mommy. I ain't
This-
never touched my
okay.
son or my nephew. I don't care what them tests is
I
at.
know when
them
it's
tests
when it
is
happens
archer.
with family.
Megan,
it's
I ain't
even
never
harder.
touched my son or my nephew.
Okay.
You know I'm not even sexual like that. You know that. Them
But-
tests ain't telling the truth, man. Megan, that. I never did that on my
This was
on my
saying if
mother.
they wet the bed or something.
On my mother, I never touched him
I never
sexually.
thought that would just be.
Only you know if your son's telling the truth.
Like, it does, I
And
mean,
you need to go home.
I
And
need
you
to
need
get my.
to.
I'm sorry, I hate that thing when people cry and then spit starts boiling up and then there's those strings and all. It's like, God, man. Oh, close your mouth. Oh.
You need to do what the police told you to.
right.
You need to go, have them do the statement, and let them open an investigation. Because otherwise,
I'm gonna look bad.
not look bad,
Megan,
you're going to cause
She gonna
damage
walk
to your son.
her- She gonna walk away and my son
Nah,
gonna hurt.
you
And
can
You
then
love
I'm
your
gonna hate him the
nephew?
rest
Do you
of
love
his
your
life.
nephew?
I love my nephew like he my own
If
son.
he's being abused, do you want it to continue?
No.
He's not being abused.
Then you need to go home.
She
and
got. I never
involved,
did nothing to
and
none of them.
you need to
I'm
put
gonna
her.
get the police involved.
Megan,
If
come
I
with
don't
me
want
on
this,
mommy. I never
can't
did
even
this.
look at her.
Megan, I never did this. Please don't believe this, Megan. On mommy.
Oh,
Look at me,
God.
sister. I would never do that to my nephew or my
What was her
son.
point to coming here if she's not going to believe the results?
Yeah, I came here to prove that I was telling the
I
truth.
believe everything.
But she found out the truth, and
I
that's not
never
you molesting your own son.
never did
and with
that.
that, you
I
can
never
get the
did
hell
that,
off my
yeah.
stage.
I can't deal with this. Like, it hurts.
I know it hurts,
It hurts so bad.
but you got to be strong for your son.
I am. I'm a strong individual. I go to school for dental hygienist. I'm a cook. I'm a full-time mom and dad.
Why you gotta say all of this shit, bro? No one asked you. No one even asked you. No one asked you. You could just say, I'm strong, I'm strong. You don't need to know your whole life story. This is about your child and your nephew. God, man.
And I graduate May 2022 from Tri-C. And I'm gonna graduate. And when I get my degree, I'm coming back and I'm gonna let you know.
Man, shut the fuck. Hey, bro, you know what? It's almost ended. Should I let it end? You know what? Let her flex, bro. She's going through it. Fuck, man.
That I did that, and I'm gonna be making $30, $40 an hour, and I'm gonna get my nephew, I'm gonna take care of my nephew, and I'm gonna keep this family standing strong like I've been doing.
And you know what? The first thing you need to do, go home and go to the police. Okay?
Okay. I called you, Steve, for help.
It's a serious situation. It's a serious situation, but at some points, like, I get it. Because sometimes I'll be, like, referencing, like, some stories and all when I'm talking to my friends about a certain topic. And they're like, I didn't ask for this, you know, even though there was a reason to it. I finally get it. Like, we don't need to hear your whole life story. It's about, okay, yes, I'm strong. Now what, but now it's about, like, moving forward and getting the children the help they need. That's one. Two, as I said, like I've said it in this reaction already, in terms of children, we don't really, I don't know what you guys knew, what households you grew up in. Some people grew up in households where people are very free. I've seen not just celebrity parents, but, like, you know, parents in general, like around the world, you know. It depends on which area, but around the world in general, there are parents out there who are very free with their kids. From a young age, they tell them this is this, that is that, you know, etc., etc. And I grew up with parents who didn't tell me any of this stuff. They didn't reference it. They didn't speak on whether it exists and all of that. Like, I learned all my stuff from movies, and then building up to that, the internet, and schools didn't even give that much information either, honestly speaking. They gave the basic information, they gave the repercussions, but they didn't give that information either. And that's why when I talked to my friend about this, like, long ago, in terms of educating kids, me and him came to the agreement. We were very adamant on the fact that we need to do better for the next generation in terms of, like, introducing them into this world that they're going to have to deal with, and getting to the bottom of it, because if we don't, a lot of the problems they encounter will be because they listen to their dumbass friends. I'm sorry if you get offended if I'm calling kids dumbasses, but kids are dumbasses. They're not dumbasses voluntarily. They're just dumbasses because they're inexperienced and they lack intelligence on certain things that they haven't even been introduced to or discover exists yet. But because of their confidence within the environments they're put in schools, where that hierarchy isn't so high. If children were just in the world in general from the bottom, like growing up, they'd know how inexperienced and how foolish and how stupid they are compared to people who have been here longer. You know, we were the same. Hear me out. I'm not insulting anyone. I'm just being like in general, we were the same. But when kids are in schools and in their little social dynamics with other kids, because they're all at the same level, when they find out that they have like information or a certain level that they've reached that is just a tad bit or a level higher than the kids around them, they start having delusions of grandeur and thinking they know shit that they don't know. Now, that's what leads to what a lot of us experienced, in the fact that when it comes to relationships, when it comes to like, just basic like interactions, when it comes to even activities of the physical nature, we don't talk to our parents. For people who grew up in households where our parents didn't really talk about that shit, they didn't really condone that shit, they didn't even want to acknowledge it, they made it awkward. But we talk to our friends, and our friends are a bunch of idiots. And what happens usually, from what I've experienced and the circles I've been in growing up, usually is they fill you with a whole bunch of bullshit that they don't really know about, and they shame and they laugh at each other, and they laugh at you, they laugh at them. Everyone is laughing at each other, acting like everyone knows what they're doing, when in reality, you don't. And a whole lot of people got in trouble. A whole lot of people got someone pregnant. A whole lot of people, their lives were just generally ruined. A whole lot of people succumbed to their dumbass friends. So these conversations need to be had in order to tell people, or to at least coach children on what is right and what is wrong. Children don't know. Now, with that lack of information, to this point where I've gotten to, with that lack of information, a child being very descriptive about what has happened to them in terms of being molested, unless they're watching movies and stuff with this new age where kids have access to Netflix and all, they're watching, I don't know, shows like Euphoria with their parents. I don't know what the fuck is going on nowadays, bro. But unless they have access to all that shit, kids don't know what the fuck. I had access to some shit too. I saw movies where, I don't know, people are sleeping with each other and all of that. They weren't as explicit as they got when I got to 13 years old and all of that. But before that, I used to see movies here and there from time to time that related to that stuff. And I still didn't know what the fuck was going on. So when a kid doesn't know what the fuck is going on and is still able to describe whatever that child described, and people are saying the child was being descriptive, it's the fucking truth. Because kids don't know what the fuck is going on. Didn't I just say I didn't know women had vaginas until like I was maybe like 12? I think I was 12 years old when I think I was 11 or 10. 11 years old, I think. Yeah, 11 years old when I found out women have like a hole instead of a dick. And thank God, because imagine if I just existed like that my whole life. I would have been caught out by a ladyboy. Fuck it. But like I didn't know until that age. You know what I'm saying? So with that innocent mind, as innocent as can be, with the world clawing, to teach your children some things. It's wrong, man. It's wrong. You're wrong. You deserve to be put in jail, because these kids need to be taught what is right, what is wrong, what to expect. Parents need to update themselves on what's happening in the current world, because a lot of the advice parents give, honestly, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but honestly, if I may speak from my parents, a lot of the advice they tried to give me did not relate to at all to the environments that they were raising me in, or the generation that they were raising me with. You need to know what the fuck is going on. And that's that. I'm sorry for my long explanation, but honestly speaking, it needed to be said. Kids need help. Kids need help, and they need help in terms of also interacting with each other. You know, let them experience these relationships, even of a sexual nature. If they do it in high school, they do it in high school. It's happening around anyway. You can just try to mentor your child the best they can. You can, and hope for the best, and hope that when they finally get into those that level or that part, that's it's it's safe, and they're with someone that they trust, and they're with someone that's responsible. Because even when you're young, there are sexual partners that you can find at a young age that are responsible, and shit might not hit the fan. You shouldn't be having sex at that young age anyway, bro. None of you know what you're doing. It's not going to be enjoyable. But, still, they need to experience it within their generation, not just fucking nonsense. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the post notifications. Sorry for taking so much of your time, but I hope you tuned in up until the end to have this conversation. My name is Riz Ill. Listen to my music, it's really dope, and I hope I make it. And if I don't, oh God, please no. And yeah, have a good day, guys. I'm handsome, ain't I?